Boris Johnson, rules for thee, but not for me. I know that's an old trope that a lot of people use, especially nowadays, whenever it comes to the COVID lockdowns and COVID mandates and all of these things that everyone's trying to tell you to do. Does it really matter if you really do them? If it's very serious, if this is as serious as people say, you would think that the leaders and the people who are in control would actually, listen to their own mandates. Turns out old Boris Johnson from England, down there in old England, across the pond down there in old England, merry old jolly old England, very hypocritical. You put out the mandates. He put out the mandates, and he was trying to get everybody to shut down. And then it turns out that old Boris Johnson, who's, I guess, the equivalent to the president in England. I don't know how their British politics work. All I know is they harumph at each other all day, and their Congress or their Senate or their House or whatever, their Whig Party, whatever their group of politicians, like where they're all yelling at each other and like they're doing a speech, but then you hear like half the politicians booing. I don't get British politics. It's very weird. It's very strange. But I'd rather have British politics than Australian politics, if you know what I'm saying. Because them Australians, they got each other locked down real hard. But Boris Johnson being found out, looks like somebody went and found out about Boris Johnson, because old Boris Johnson was caught having dinner. Look at that. Nice little dinner going on. And this was back in May or April when there were reports of Boris Johnson partaking in these parties that were in government buildings. And he even apologized to the Queen, saying, I'm sorry that, we were caught. Basically, he's apologizing, saying, we were caught. I'm sorry we were caught. I apologize we were caught. I hate the fact that we were caught, but you know what? Since we were caught, no big deal. No big deal. Right, guys? Right? Rules for thee, not for me. Because you can imagine yourself going out on any one of these mandates, especially with the videos from Australia. Now, this is during the lockdown. This is when everyone was supposed to be locked down. Now, a lot of British politicians are coming at Boris Johnson saying that he should step down. He lied. He was not doing his duties to the British people. And in actuality, it's detrimental because he's not actually listening to the rules and mandates that you put out that's supposed to keep everyone safe. If these mandates are supposed to be keeping people safe, then why? Why do you not listen to it yourself, and do you think that you can avoid it? It happens a lot. Wasn't there a thing here in America where Nancy Pelosi went to get her nails done, and, somebody sold her out and was like, hey, this politician's over here getting her nails done when we're supposed to be locked down. And I know, it's hard being locked down. I hated being locked down. I wasn't ever actually locked down. I kept going, damn it. I kept going. And, so far so good. I don't know. I don't think I've caught anything yet other than normal stomach bugs and stuff like that. Knock on wood, but we'll see, because you know how time will tell whether everyone's going to catch this COVID thing or not, but that's irrelevant. The most relevant point in this is the fact that a picture was caught during lockdown. This is in the middle of this harsh, crazy lockdown. They're having wine. They're hanging out. They're in the yard. You're not even allowed to do that. You ain't allowed to do that. But they are. They are. They let themselves do that. So what a weird coinkydink. You get caught, and then all of a sudden, you change your tune. You change your tune, and then all of a sudden, now, things change.
So, this morning, the Cabinet concluded that because of the extraordinary booster campaign, together with the way the public have responded to the Plan B...
Oh, because of the extraordinary booster campaign. I'm sure, right? I'm sure.
...measures, we can return to Plan A in England and allow Plan B regulations to expire.
See, they all like that. They all like that, and I'm sure the people like that too, right?
From the start of Thursday next week, mandatory certification will end. Organisations can, of course, choose to use the NHS COVID pass voluntarily, but we will end the compulsory use of COVID status certification in England.
So they're cutting it off. They're cutting it off. They're making sure that they don't have to do that anymore. They're not doing mandates anymore. They're cutting them off. Now, was this because he got caught? Or was this because this was just the direction everything was heading into anyway? I'm more likely to think that it was a coinky-dink in timing, and this is the direction that we were heading in anyway, because all of the people seem to be happy about that. Everyone seems to be pretty happy about that. But I don't know. It's, you know.
The government is no longer asking people to work from home.
You don't have to be home anymore.
To their employers about arrangements for returning to the office, and having looked at the data carefully, the Cabinet concluded that once regulations lapse, the government will no longer mandate the wearing of face masks anywhere.
So they're taking away the mask mandates, and this is the complete opposite of Australia. There was a video, and I'm probably going to do another video after this one, talking about the mask mandates in Australia, because there was a viral video of a woman who all she wanted to do was go and get coffee, and then she ended up getting locked up, and it was kind of a sad story. But you know how the game is. It depends on where you are in the world. It's interesting how we all can keep up with each other no matter what part of the world we're in. The world is changing, guys. Everything's changing. Now, there's some type of ruckus going on.
Mr. Speaker, from tomorrow we will no longer require face masks in classrooms, and the Department for Education will shortly remove national guidance on their use in communal areas. In the country at large, we will continue to suggest the use of face coverings in enclosed or crowded spaces.
Reasonable. Sounds pretty reasonable, I think.
When you come into contact with people you don't normally meet, but we will trust the judgment of the British people.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute. How did he change his tune? So now you're going to trust the British people. But beforehand, no, we can't trust those plebs. We can't let them go out there, plebs. We can't let them go out there and try to make their own decisions and wash their hands and wear a mask whenever they're around people they don't know. We can't ask them to do all this stuff on their own. We can't trust them. And then all of a sudden, when you find out that you can't trust him, you can't trust fucking Johnson. I almost called him Gary Johnson, but I think that was an American guy. Boris Johnson. You can't trust Boris Johnson. You can't trust your own leaders. They're all full of shit. Everyone's full of shit, so what are you going to do? They're all full of it. So what are you going to do? Everyone's a hypocrite to a certain extent, I truly believe. And this is just one of these cases where he got caught, and then all of a sudden now he wants to put things out there and he wants to make everyone happy. You're going to make everyone happy by pointing out that, yes, we're going to take the mandates away. We're going to take all of these things away, and we're going to put the trust back into the British people. But we didn't trust you before. You can't make your own decisions beforehand. You can make them now, though. We trust you now. Now we trust you. Now, after you kind of did what we said, and you had to do what we said because you don't have a choice, now we see that maybe some bullshit's not working, right? Maybe we'll get back to normal now. Maybe we'll get back to normal. Is it the new normal, or is it the new normal? What do you even call it? What do you even call any of it? The hypocrisy is everywhere, guys. The hypocrisy is everywhere. And I don't necessarily slight them too much for it until it gets to the point to where you're saying that we need to stay home because this is not safe for us. This isn't safe for us. So how do you expect us to take it seriously if the leaders who are pushing this aren't even taking it seriously? Please explain that to me. I'm having a hard time understanding, and I'm having a hard time realizing how in the hell we can trust these people. Because it's an old joke. It's an old joke now. Everyone, always, anytime I mention to them, hey, politics lie, right? Everyone knows that politicians lie. Everyone knows it, but yet they still get dragged up into the bullshit. Still dragged up into the bullshit. And it is all bullshit. Don't get me wrong. Everything's all bullshit, guys. That's not even the point. The point is, point out the bullshit that's just too much for you. It's too much. Some of these people are just acting like they can do whatever they want to, and you cannot. Do as I say, not as I do, because Boris Johnson went out and partied. They had a BYOB party, man. And they had government workers working there. There ain't nothing you can do. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? It could be worse. It could be like Australia, where they're locking you up just going to get coffee. So who knows where this is all heading to? But it does seem that there was a positive light in all of this mess, that Boris Johnson, though he was caught being a hypocrite, like that's a surprise, he was caught being a hypocrite. But guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what? The mandates are going away in England. Starbucks just announced here in America that they are not requiring their vaccine mandates either. So a lot of people are backtracking on these things that are starting to realize that it's very hard on business. It's very hard on business. But either way, whether you support mandates or you don't, because there is something to be said about our own health and spreading diseases between people, because we are nasty animals. Even as much as we don't want to admit it and as much as we don't want to think we are a little bit nasty animals. So who do we trust? Who do we trust? Can we trust the politicians? Can we trust the people in charge? I don't think so. But who can we trust?